Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Grandma. And if you haven't guessed already, this is Grandma. And she looks like she's got an apron on today. Be nice to me, I've had a hard day. And this little girl here looks kind of like Swan in the picture. See, it's like an angry little girl.
Right there.
Apple pie, and I've always thought Grandma's pie crust was the best pie crust ever. Really light and flaky, but she says she's not so sure about the light and flaky part, but as long as it's the normal Grandma pie crust, it should be good.
We'll make the crust first, of course, and it's going to go in this pan that is 9.5 inches both ways.
Oh, this is a circle.
And it's about 2 inches deep.
Okay.
It's called a deep dish apple pie. We have 2 cups of flour pre-measured out.
Okay.
Regular unbleached flour. And we have 3/4 cup of Crisco butter flavored shortening. And we'll put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which you can use it or you don't. Now, of course, when you have the shortening and the flour together, it has to be blended and worked in. Some people use a blender that has little wires on it. I use a fork and then I use my hands. You know, they made fingers and hands before forks, so sometimes a hand works just fine. Most people would disagree with me on that, but that's the way it works here.
People without hands, probably.
Lightly roll the shortening and the flour, blending it together. Just lightly roll it, like so. You get it into small, crummy balls.
Those crummy balls.
You notice I'm not a very precise person. I have flour flying everywhere. Maybe in your ear, maybe on the floor, maybe in your hair, all over the table. Who knows? That's just the way it works sometimes. You see how that kind of blends together? When you work at that real lightly like that. I like to do it this way. It's just easier for me. What I do, I add just a little bit extra shortening to my recipe. And then that allows a little more cold water to work it up to handle better. That way I can play with it better. And it'll still come out okay and you can chew it. It may not be as flaky as some people's crust, but it tastes good and you can chew it. And it holds things together pretty good.
I like pies that I can chew.
As you notice, we're getting close to that part where the flour and the shortening is pretty well mixed together and doesn't have too many big lumps in it. I'm going to add the 1/2 cup cold water from the fridge. I don't mess with ice water, that's too much trouble. And blend it before. You notice it sticks together pretty good because of the extra water. I'll lightly push it together. And you get it where it holds together pretty good. You don't have to just work it to death. Now I'm going to take and make 2 balls out of it. I'll make one just a little bit bigger ball than the other because I'm going to use it for the bottom of the pan. Then I'll use what's left for the top of the pie. At the bottom crust, and then I'll have a small top crust. And press it together. You notice how easy that handles? Really handles real easy.
Like a fine German automobile.
So fun to play with, like clay.
Yeah.
You can actually
That's what makes
eat
it so much fun.
I know.
It's like a kid playing with Play-Doh. A little bit past the half mark. I'll use this for the top crust and this one for the bottom crust. Press it together. And press it together. You know, this is not the normal type pie dough. Most of it, you can't mess with it like this. But I like to mess with it like this. There we go. Lightly. Lightly roll it and you just roll different ways to try and keep that in a circle as best you can.
Unless, of course, you're making a square pie.
Yeah.
Hey, we should try to make a square pie. See how it turns out to look like.
Go over to kind of
That's
keep it
blasphemous.
so that it's workable.
That's against the laws of pie. The universe would explode.
Oh really? I'm gonna do it. See what happens.
You're going to be responsible for the destruction of all known matter. In the
Well, now
universe.
when you make cobblers, you have a long piece and put it in a 9 by 13 inch pan and put your fruit and things in, filling in that, and then you have to make the crust to fit the long pan. You just kind of shape it to what you're going to put it in.
I thought cobblers were those guys who repaired shoes.
You know, cobbler, to my way of looking at it, is pie filling in a cake pan with pie dough on the bottom and pie dough on the top.
Maybe the people who repair shoes also make pies on the side.
Yeah, because they get hungry at first.
Yeah.
See
because
how easy this handles when you
it's like
use more
pizza.
shortening and more water in it than the normal pie dough recipes call for.
I see.
Oh, look how smooth it is.
You can measure to make sure that you've got it about right. Putting the pie pan over the top of it, and it should have about 2 inches left around the edges. I'll do a little more here just to make sure. Let's get it to look about right. Gonna have a little extra, but that'd be better than not enough. See how that easily handles? This middle roll, you try and put it in the middle of the pan. Like so. Then you take the rest of it, put her over there about like so. Whoops, got a hole, mash it together. Time you make a hole, you just mash it together. And I will cut some of this off before I start putting the filling in. Or the or the lid on top.
Why do you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why?
I'd holler too if I was a pie.
The pie-manity.
Here is approximately 4.5 to 5 cups of prepared sliced raw apples. Peel them. That takes the time, is peeling your apples and slicing them up. It takes about 4 large apples to get 4.5 to 5 cups of prepared 3/4 cups of sugar, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. That's going to go into this, into my apples. I'm going to stir them together. I'm going to pull a fast one on us. This is something I've been experimenting with to speed up the processing of baking the pie. You can put this right in your pie shell like this, if you want. Just like it is, after you get it mixed together. And put the lid on it, put it in the oven and bake it. But I'm experimenting a little bit.
Excuse me.
And I'm going to put this in the microwave for just a little bit to warm it up good, to give it a little head start in the oven. That's what my thought pattern is. Mad reasonings, I might call it. Whatever.
It's madness. It's sort of like Head Start school for slow pie.
Give it about a minute and a half. I don't want to overdo it.
Heard any good jokes lately?
Right before I put the crust on, I'm going to put some butter on top of it. Probably about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to see if that did anything. It's got a little warmth in there, so that's good. But it's not hot. It made the sugar melt. Now that seemed to be just about right. That's just about what I wanted. I hadn't tried that before, but I thought I'd experiment. You know, if you don't experiment, you never get to know anything new. Now, I'm going to put it into this pie shell. Uh-oh. I touched it. Now I've got to mend it. It's going to be tender, it looks to me like. Now, if you don't like this much cinnamon, I love cinnamon, but if you don't like that much cinnamon, cut it down to about, table and a half.
Only
Teaspoon and a half to 2 teaspoons. I have a tablespoonful in here right now. But if you don't like that much cinnamon, you know, people's flavors, tastes are different. I'll put the little butters in there. That'll give it a little more flavor. Of course, there's a little more calories also, if you don't like calories.
flavor equals calories.
Okay, we're going to go for a top crust now. The trick is trying to keep it round when you're working it out so it'll fit on the pie shell or on the pie pan. Now let's see, we'll measure this a little bit. It looks about right. It's not going to be even Steven, but it's going to work. I'm going to get this in the middle of the pie again, best we can. There, where it bends in the middle.
So thin.
And then I take this and then drop it down into the top of your pie filling. And you notice I'm going to bring it up here together. And then I'm going to seal it, like so. I'm sealing it. There. See, we have enough there that we can work together. Bring it down to the pie filling. Drop it down to the pie filling. I'll just do that all at once. That'll make it simpler. And drop it down to the pie filling again. Right like that. See? You look under there and see that. See there?
Smells so yummy.
Even this up just a tiny bit. like so. So we don't have too much to work with in one spot and not enough in another. Now we've got it sealed. Now we're going to tip it under here like so. Like that. Tip it under. This is what you want it to look better. Doesn't look scrubby. Well, my pies might look scrubby anyway, but that's the idea, is to make it look smooth and finished. Just kind of roll it under there and touch it down so it'll stay put. And then you can do a little artwork on it. You can take a fork and squish it around all around, or you can do the loop, which I do. I like the little loop look, like that. See?
Fancy.
Makes it a little prettier when you serve it. Or eat it, whichever.
Makes it taste better.
To put a little, some air holes in it, so if it gets to going and bubbling too much, it's not going to want to push out the edges over here and run out over the pan. This way, if it does any bubbling extra, it'll just run down and around the cracks here. You can make a something that says an A, like an apple pie.
In the cartoons, it's always 3 slits.
Huh?
Whenever you see a pie in a cartoon, there's always like 3 slits.
Now, I can also make a few air holes here and here. Oh my, there we've got all messed up again. Come on now, cover yourself up. Be nice.
Oh, you can't
Be
fix
nice.
what has been done today.
Nice. I'm going to patch him. I'm going to give him a little patch. Doesn't look pretty that way. See, you just, nothing's perfect, you know. Not with me, anyway.
That's why I'm afraid of doctors.
Hmm?
That's what happens in the surgery room. Oops, I stabbed too far. Let me get some extra stuff here and patch you up.
I'll patch you up, yeah.
Looks good as new.
I don't think that's happening at the
Well, have you ever heard that some people went in to have one leg removed and they removed the wrong one?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that one?
I just heard about a doctor who amputated a woman's hands and feet, and it was the wrong person.
Oh my, that would really be a wingdinger.
Imagine waking up to that. Now that I sure hope that's not the dog.
Is that somebody else?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Who are you?
It's got to be Cindy.
Roxy,
Oh, I forgot about you.
well, how can you forget
I
about
don't
me?
know. I got involved in making this pie, and he's taping it. Now get her on tape.
Oh,
Yeah.
She'll have to sign a release form.
Roxy, come back here.
No,
This is part of it.
absolutely not.
Now we're going to put that critter into this oven. Just remember, nobody's perfect. But I hope that
Disclaimers.
it's eatable when it comes out. Usually they are. They're pretty tasty. Now, I'm going to leave it on 375 for 20 minutes. Looks good to me. What's it look to you?
It doesn't look like it normally does. Like normally it looks like lighter colored, and there's like little sugar all over it and stuff.
Oh, what we did put the sugar on it.
Are you supposed to put it on before you cook it?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for making the apple pie.
Yes.
You think you'll enjoy it even if it is a different color?
The table of pie eating. What do you think?
Is it easy enough to eat? Is it cool?
Very good. It's not
It's done.
it's not extremely sweet and it's not too sweet, you know? It's just the medium taste.
I think I could do with just a little less cinnamon. in it. That's still hot.
What did you say the best kind of apple to use is?
Well, basically, Jonathan, because they have a sharper, sweet tart taste to them.
Does what kind of hair you put in it affect the flavor?
Well, just look at it this way. If you find a hair, it's purified. Just pull it out and throw it away. It's been purified.
I pulled it out, but I don't know how purified it is.
Well, purified. One time, I'll tell you a story, and my poor uncle, he's long gone now. But I'll never forget that story. My mother, and she's long gone too, had made homemade noodles. Oh, they were good homemade noodles. They were about that big around. Homemade noodles.
Yeah.
And they're about that long. Delicious. She just made them out of eggs and flour and salt
Oh, yum.
and whipped it all together and then made it so she'd spread it out on the table and roll it out with a rolling pin, sprinkle a little flour over it and roll it up, make it pretty thin. But when they cooked, they'd puff up and make big, delicious noodles.
Yeah.
So one day she invited him, my uncle, to stay for a meal. And she had these homemade noodles. They had chunks of beef in them. It's good. And he was just lapping that up. And boy, he really thought it was good stuff. And all of a sudden he went, I thought, oh, what's wrong? Then pretty soon, he takes his fork and he tries to get that out. Couldn't get it out, so he finally took his finger. Pretty soon he brought it out as a great big bunch of hair. I'll never forget that.
Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it. I felt sorry for him because those noodles were so good, but they had a hair in them.
Aww.
Head noodle.
But he went ahead and ate the rest of them. He didn't let it bother him. He finally just got it out of there because it was tangled around his tooth.
Oh my
He
god.
had to pick it out, and when he got it out, he just laid it aside and he kind of shook his head a little bit. Went ahead and ate the rest of them
Oh my.
because they wasn't dirty. It was just annoying.